So preparation, I think, is really the best answer for that. So making sure that you understand everything that's on your resume. So like there are a million ways to get your resume up to speed. And in some cases, like you can hire a consultant like Impact to help you with getting your resume started and moving forward, right? And
Shameless
so
plug. Good job.
shameless plug. Yep. Check. That's one for me in the box for today. So the reality is like you can get someone else to help you to do it, but you have to understand what is on your resume to begin with, because if someone else is writing it for you and then they put either something that's not accurate in there or you put something that's not accurate in there, it's going to be hard for that false memory essentially, right, to come to mind during the process of the interview. And so making sure you prepare and you understand like what's on your resume, what applies to the position that you're looking to fill, and then getting into like the question itself. The preparation is the STAR method. That's probably the most common method that's out there for answering an interview question, and it's real simple. Like STAR is an acronym and it stands for situation. So you kind of walk through like what is the specific situation that you found yourself in as you were about to embark on doing something for your business or your company or whatever. And then the task. So like very specifically, what did you do? Right? How did you address whatever that situation was? And then the action. So like, okay, now you did something to address that situation, and as a result of it, like you did steps 1, 2, and 3, and there was a journey that ended up taking place there where you ended up having to work with this department and that department, and so you had to coordinate with other parts of the organization, or you had to work with other folks that have different skill sets, like the legal team or the finance team. And then ultimately, and the most important part that a lot of folks don't speak to, both on the resume and in the interview itself, is the result. And that's the one that I think will get you. That if so, like the most generic resumes that I've seen out there, the most generic interview questions that I've ever had answered is they just talk about this nebulous situation and they're like, yeah, and we got it done. And it's like, no, no, no. Like you got it done. That's great. Right.
What's the process?
What did you do? How did you do it? And then ultimately, like, what was the outcome? And sometimes it truly, like, one of the best responses I've ever gotten to that, the end result was failure. That individual completely fell on their face.
Okay. I like it. And so, it's kind of Jake for you as well. And this may be a similar answer, but do interviewers ever get nervous when interviewing candidates? How do you handle that? And for like also for a candidate, what tips for nerves other
Yeah, I
than
think
a strong drink?
That's what I was about to do. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
just
we do not
yeah,
recommend that ever. That's actually
Justin did recommend that to a candidate one time, and this is at a company where he was recruiting for me, and the very probably the very first week I'm on the job, someone walks into my office and they sit down and they're all serious and they're like, yeah, Justin, he told a candidate that there's a liquor store right across the street from where they're at. So like maybe they should go grab some alcohol and have a drink. I'm like, okay. And they're very serious. Like, well, that's a real problem. It's like I understand why you think that's a problem, and I understand why someone who, maybe they have a history of alcoholism in their family might be offended. But at the end of the day, come on. Like, why are you in my office right now? Why are we having this conversation? He's an employee. Unless you're firing him for that, and that already happened before I got here, like, leave that alone. But anyway, I digress, right? So I think
stealing my stories.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know, I know. Justin, I can write a book about the stories I have about
Thank
Justin.
you. Thank you.
But I think it comes down to a couple things. I think preparation is part of it, obviously, as I talked about. So I'm going to answer this, Melanie, from the candidate's perspective. So if I'm the candidate, making sure I'm prepared, making sure that like I walk in the room and I'm positive and that I'm not negative Nancy. No one wants to work with negative Nancy, and not to be gender specific there, negative Paul or Nancy or whomever, right? But I think being positive and being professional. So like sitting up straight, being respectful to everyone that you meet, dressing appropriately for the interview, and we kind of covered that in the last part. But I think Those are kind of the keys for me. Justin, what are your thoughts around the hiring manager's perspective?
Pretty much echo exactly what you have as well. Tempered enthusiasm, because I think, especially more along the hiring manager, when you start talking to somebody and you realize that they're the fit, and if it's somebody you've been looking for a really long time, you can't just sit there and then automatically, and let's say you have 4 other interviews lined up that day and you're talking to this person, you can't sit there, oh, you're hired. Let's calm down. We know that do your due diligence. And as hiring managers, we've all been there, right? Everybody has sat there. They've talked to the perfect candidate. They've talked to this person who's incredible. Just like you said, calm down, take a little breath, ask some other question that's off the wall, like even if you're face to face, and ask some just to calm your own nerves, because we've all run into the perfect candidate, and you don't want to seem eager as well, because then next thing you're going to be agreeing,